Just under the Biden-Harris House is in full focus 54 days from the election. A surge of migrants is straining resources in big cities and small. You know this. It's all across the nation. Yeah. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine announcing a $2.5 million aid package for Springfield as the city deals with the surge of migrants from Haiti. And we're hearing from victims of violent crimes allegedly committed by migrants.
So Fox team coverage, Brooke Taylor works the story in Houston with disturbing details surrounding the murder of that 12-year-old girl. First, though, Christina Coleman is live in Springfield, Ohio. That's Clark County, to the west of Columbus, to the northeast of Dayton, Ohio. What'd you find out? Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bill. Over the last 4 years, at least 15,000 Haitians have come here to the small city, Springfield, Ohio, and it has rapidly and dramatically increased the population here and stretched resources thin. Many Haitians came here under the temporary protected status program after escaping violence and unrest in their country. They heard there was cheap housing and lots of jobs here. Now Springfield is in serious need of more school resources, translation services, and even driver education classes. Ohio's governor also says many Haitians have arrived here badly in need of medical services due to a severe shortage of health care in their home country.
A few moments later.
All right, today the Trump administration revokes temporary protected status for thousands of Haitians living in the U.S. The order means that more than 300,000 Haitians now living here could face deportation in a little over 2 months, on February 3rd of 2026. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem acknowledged that Haiti is still a volatile place, but she says extending TPS would be at odds with United States interests. Well, joining us now on CBS News Miami at 7 is Paul Christian Namfi of the Family Action Network movement. Its mission is to empower low-income families socially, economically, and politically. What's your reaction to what the Trump administration did today?
We are devastated. We truly see this as a low point for us. Given when you think, first of all, the fact that between 300,000 and 500,000 lives are at stake. People who left Haiti, who have been living and working legally in this country, paying their taxes, working hard, keeping Florida's economy afloat, an important part of the social fabric. And we are very, very saddened that this decision has been taken. This was not a surprise.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, we got to talk about these new policies that Donald Trump and his administration is putting in place with regard to immigration. They have come to realize and recognize after the shooting that happened just a couple days ago prior to Thanksgiving in Washington, D.C., where an Afghan immigrant took the life of one National Guards woman and injured another National Guardsman in Washington, D.C., just a couple blocks from the White House. Well, they are reassessing some things in the Trump administration, some things that I believe they should have assessed from the very beginning. But y'all, this is the problem when you have executive order policy that's implemented and laws that are not passed by Congress. Whenever you get a new executive, you get new executive orders that undo the policies of the last administration. And that's what we're experiencing today with Donald Trump saying, I'm halting all immigration from third world countries, from countries that are deemed enemies of America, opposed to America, America's ops. We're ceasing all that immigration until we can get things figured out. He told y'all that in the election process as he was campaigning out on the road. He said, we need to stop all this immigration until we can figure out what is going on. That's what he said. Well, now he's implementing policy. And it's unfortunate that a young woman had to die before the policy was implemented, but here we are, y'all. And here we have an example of Springfield, Ohio, one small town that has been inundated under the Biden administration with Haitian immigrants. I don't know why they picked Haiti to infiltrate Springfield, but all of a sudden people who have lived in Springfield for generations were looking up and seeing all these blackity blacks, and not just blackity blacks like myself, because some of y'all would consider me to be what you call ADOS or FBA or any other acronym y'all want to put on it. My family has been in this country for over a dozen generations, put it that way. But these are different blackity blacks. These are blackity blacks from Haiti who come from a different society, such that the Dominican Republic, who shares an island with Haitians, they don't even want to fool with them. They put up a big old wall and say, look, y'all have that half of the island, but don't come over yonder way. Don't come over here, because we don't want nothing to do with y'all blackity blacks over in Haiti. Well, Joe Biden, in his infinite wisdom, y'all, Joe Biden said, bring in thousands, tens of thousands of Haitians and put them in Springfield, Ohio, of all places. They overwhelmed that little town, that little local society, that little local community. And folks were allowed to live there and overwhelm their economy, overwhelm their society, overwhelm their school system, their social services system. And they are just now getting a little piece of hope in the Trump administration that will allow these people to be deported, extricated, removed from that little town in Springfield and get them back to a sense of normalcy. These taxpayers deserve better than that. And thank goodness that they are getting better than that under the Trump administration, because Joe Biden didn't care nothing about Springfield. He didn't care nothing about the people living there, the legacy of the city, the history of the community. He didn't care nothing about that. He dumped a bunch of Haitian blackity blacks in Springfield and they start eating the cats. I remember, y'all, I saw the videos. But here we are in 2025 after one National Guards woman has been deleted, unalived in Washington, D.C., that this administration is starting to take action that we as law-abiding citizens and taxpayers to this country deserve. If they're here illegally, I don't care how long they've been here. Because if you've been here for a while illegally, then you had a chance to learn the laws, learn the language, learn the culture, and get yourself together with that paperwork. But if you haven't done it, it don't matter how long you've been here, you gotta go.
This lady got deported back to Haiti after living in the United States for 42 years. And this is what her living conditions look like.
Girl, this the kitchen right here where people cook. You probably can't see it good. It's the kitchen, girl. And girl, let me show you the bathroom. This is where you take a shower at. And let me show you where you use the bathroom at. You see that hole? Okay. Now, this where this young lady and her son, she pregnant. She let me stay until I can get out of here and get on my feet.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I kind of feel bad for her, but I know what y'all thinking, like, okay, well, she didn't do what she needed to do to get her citizenship, blah, blah, blah. But she's been living here since she was 5 years old. She probably had no idea that she was supposed to do anything as far as becoming an actual citizen. I mean, that's a hell of a wake-up call. But I feel like this should also be a wake-up call to anybody who's actually from Haiti or anywhere in the Caribbean or anywhere around the world that looks similar to that, or where there's a good portion of their society that has to live that way. I feel like this should be a wake-up call for them, because this should show you that your people and your country of origin really needs help. It really needs some type of stability. Like she said, it's completely lawless out there. Like she said, she got raped her first week back. She said that there's like no government. People just run rampant. It's like hard to find food. Like there's no jobs. Like this should be a wake up call for people who are actually from Haiti, like, or any country that looks like that, because y'all flee, y'all come, y'all go here, there, and everywhere, but then you leave behind your country of origin. And I understand, like, and it's like, it's funny to me, because it's not funny, but it's like, it's interesting to me because one of the jabs that they throw at Black America is, well, at least I have a home to go back to. But most of the people who say that, home looks just like what she showed us. So, I mean, that's not even a home that you even want to go back to. And I'm not saying that to be a bitch, but what I am saying is that it's going to take a lot of like strategic planning in order to get that country back on its feet, or to get it to be basically habitable at all. They need to flatten out that whole, everything there needs to just be flattened out, and they need to start from scratch. I don't even know if they're even going to be able to rebuild Haiti.
A blow to some within South Florida's Haitian community. Tonight, the Department of Homeland Security announcing the end of protections for Haitians in the country with TPS. Local 10's Magdala Luisan is live in North Miami with the new developments that we are learning. Magdala, fill us in.
Yeah, so I'm learning from Santla, the organization, that they have been on it since they were aware that the current administration would be ending TPS for Haitian nationals. And because of this, they've been working with those Haitian nationals across South Florida over the last several months. And they tell me some of their clients were hoping this day would not come. Santla Executive Director Gypsy Metalis is one of many who got the notification. Temporary protected status for Haitian nationals will end early next year.
We were expecting this, and so no surprise there. But I was still a little bit shocked that such an announcement would be made, would be publicized right on the eve of Thanksgiving.
The Department of Homeland Security put out a federal notice that says Haiti no longer meets the statutory requirements for temporary protected status, and Haitian nationals who have been in the U.S. need to leave. Leaders also say, quote, allowing Haitian nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is inconsistent with U.S. national interest.
We've been insisting that parents have a formal guardianship agreement with the individual in whose care they want to leave their children. That's one. And so many people, so many folks with TPS who've been in the United States since the Haiti earthquake of 2010 have become homeowners, business owners, have assets. And so we've been telling them too that they needed to make sure to take care of those.
Metalis says for months they've been talking to organizations on the ground in the southern and northern regions of Haiti to welcome those who self-deport or are deported.
All of these organizations have networks, right? Partners, collaborators who are in Port-au-Prince and elsewhere throughout the country. So it's time to ensure that now we've got those quick alliances set.
And tonight we have local leaders who are also reacting to this announcement. Miami-Dade County Commissioner Marlene Bastien says she is outraged and that making a decision like this at a time when families are getting together for Thanksgiving is cold and heartless. She's calling on the Trump administration to reconsider their decision, partly because of the conditions she says those Haitians will face when they land in Haiti.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a friend who immigrated to America illegally. And I ended up in law school with this individual. He went to a different law school than me. As a matter of fact, he went to a higher ranked law school than mine, even after receiving a lower LSAT score than mine. I ain't gonna let it go. He came to this country illegally. But he is what I call an example of illegal immigrants to this country, because he came here illegally as a child. His mother brought him here. He was educated in the American system, went to college, got an education, ended up in law school, got a law degree, passed the bar and became a lawyer. Then after law school, went to the United States Navy and became a JAG officer. Y'all, he became a military lawyer. Spent years in the military on active duty, and then left the military to become a corporate lawyer in Washington, D.C. This man, a friend of mine, is an example of what I would consider someone who came to this country illegally and then made it right, becoming an American citizen, getting an education, and offering something back to American society. Unfortunately, y'all, he is not the norm. He is an outlier in this system, especially the 4 years under Joe Biden, where he allowed people from third world countries to just flood this society, this system, this country. He just loaded them on planes from places like Afghanistan, unvetted. He just allowed them to come in. Now we don't know who we have here. We got Afghans murdering Americans now. We got Venezuelans murdering Americans now. We got Haitians eating cats and Asians eating dogs in America now. What are we to do as citizens? Well, we rely on our politicians to do better and be better, but under the Biden administration, they clearly weren't. So now we got to take corrective action under the Trump administration and depend on them to do what is right. Get these Haitians up out of here. Get these Venezuelans up out of here. Get these Hondurans up out of here. Get these people who are not American citizens up out of here, because as Donald Trump said when he was running for elective office, they're sending murderers, they're emptying their insane asylums, they are sending the worst of their societies to infiltrate our societies. And that's not to mention the Chinese and the Russians who are sending their spies and intelligentsia to infiltrate American government. We ain't gonna get into that in this video, but you should know that it is happening right up under your nose. It's now time for things to change. It's now time for corrective action to take place. And I'm glad it is.
Look, I certainly it's not the way I'd like to see a commander-in-chief and the leader of our country try to bring the nation together after this horrific incident. I mean, clearly, we have had a horrible attack. I mean, losing anyone from the National Guard or military is horrific. Clearly, this needs to be investigated thoroughly. There is no question. Someone that received, of course, asylum just since President Trump here has been in office, clearly worked with the CIA. So this is someone that we had a lot of contact with, that we clearly worked very closely with. And so understanding what exactly happened before we jump to conclusions, I think is really critical in this and any moment. And these attacks on whether it's elected leaders or other folks in this country, or direct attacks on people that are either immigrants or refugees or have sought asylum in a process that we have created for our country, is unbecoming of the President of the United States. But this, of course, has been something that he's been doing since day one, which has been to attack immigrants, migrants, the system of immigration. Yet this is a country we know that is largely built by immigrants. And so I think right now the most important thing is to get the information right and to get the facts right, and to lift in our thoughts and our prayers for the families of these two, and also the entire National Guard who right now are mourning. And I think the president needs to focus on that and let the investigation run its course so that we accurately understand what happened and ensure that this doesn't happen again.
Congressman, you're an immigrant too. Your family came here from Peru. When you hear the president talk about removing people who are, quote, non-compatible with Western civilization, what do you hear? And what is it like to be a person who's living in the U.S. uncertain of your own future?
I'll share that immigrants are some of the most patriotic people in this country. I came here when I was a kid. My family worked hard. We did everything we can and could to give back to the country, to the community. And becoming U.S. citizens was the best thing that could have happened to my family. And that, of course, is the story of so many folks that are here and that are trying to either gain citizenship, gain an opportunity to work. And we've seen, especially over these last few months, the dehumanization of immigrants, what's happened, whether it's been with ICE or DHS, the mass agents taking people away, the detention centers that no one can visit. I recently been talking to U.S. citizens even that have been detained by federal authorities for no reason, not understanding what had happened to them. And so this is, again, part of Donald Trump's broader policy. He views immigration in such a negative light that is, quite frankly, anti-American. Americans and this country know and understand that immigration has been a net positive and continues to be. These recent actions by the president and the comments over the last couple of days have been quite shocking and embarrassing. To comment about other people across this country, when you think about, for example, the folks that helped our own military save American lives and save civilians, not just in Afghanistan, but around the world, these are people that gave their lives and oftentimes put their own family at risk to support and save American troops.
And there you have it, y'all. The president is coming through on his promises. He's making good on things he assured us he would take care of. It might be a little late by some estimations, but better late than never, especially in a case so serious as this. When America hinges on the verge of World War III, y'all, there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm not sure all of you are paying attention to it, but I certainly am as a student of political science. There's a lot going on. And this president seems to have full control of the U.S. government and is exercising its power across the world as it should have been before. But y'all know when them Democrats get in power, they bend over and give it all up to other countries. Well, we got a cowboy in the White House now. We got a Yankee in the White House now. We got someone who is willing to represent American interests on a global scale in the White House now. And we are thankful. Listen, if y'all don't agree with it, maybe this ain't the channel for you. But I don't understand your thinking if you can't get a grip on a president that is representing America first. Because what else would you expect from an American president? Are we supposed to be Haiti first? Venezuela first? What are y'all thinking? You liberals, you weirdos, what are you thinking? Letting your country be overrun with people who are raping your citizens, with people who are murdering your citizens, with people who are allowing criminals to be arrested dozens of times and just be let back out on the streets to recommit crimes among us. Who are these people, these anti-Americans? Well, I am thankful that we got a president in the White House who is willing to make change, because that's what America needs at this moment, both on American soil and abroad on a global scale. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I would love to know your thoughts as President Trump and his administration gets active to get these people out of our society that didn't come here the right way. I don't care if you've been here 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. If you came here wrong, you are a 40-year criminal. And you should be dealt with on those terms. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, y'all. I'd love to know your thoughts, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.